GP.
Not required. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Then let me start something. Jump into uh, recently when maybe we onboarded. Like it's not my panel, but there is a new BA onboarded recently, and I have a chance to interact with him. I asked him, the very basic conceptual question, like, you're a business analyst, right? So, do you know, uh, can you define that what is a business? Okay, maybe this is what I'm sharing the story. Uh, then I surprised, like, he's struggling to give the, like, he is trying to give is, very casual, but what is a business? Because business analyst is a two word or a one word. That's what always I ask a question. You can type your answers like in the chat box. Business analyst, is it a one term or one word or a two words? If you can type in your chat, like just wanted to see that. So I believe that there is two things, right? So business, two, right? Yeah, this is two. But analyst is the one who carries out the analysis, right? So on the business, okay. But at least I should be able to understand what is a business first, right? So if I ask you this question, how do you answer? Maybe this is not an MBA crash course, okay? Don't misunderstand me. I'm talking about the concept called business acumen. How many of you know that business acumen? ACU, this is important for a BA, right? So how without knowing like so the business or how it operates, why it exists there, what is the purpose of it, right? And how do I carry out the business analysis? And what is a mindset as an analyst I need? What is the cognitive abilities I need it, right? So I believe that analyst means he should be able to have a curious mind. Hey, why this? What is this? Why this? How it works, right? We involved in it, right? What are the steps in it? How they are connected to each other? What occurs first, right? What is the outcome of it? Where it triggers, right? Hello? These are the things quickly who can understand, observe these things, he can be an analyst. Otherwise, it's a normal human being, right? That's a little difference between an analyst and a normal guy. So developer is something who is always techie, right? So he writes if and else for most of the time. But uh, this problem solving skills, let's who is the users, right? And how what is this actually? What is outcome of it, right? So what is the edge cases? All these things, the analyst is the one you should be able to carry out, right? That's what the mindset, the cognitive abilities without a bias. Okay. So therefore, first we need to understand today business and as well as an analyst. But don't treat this as a crash MBA course, but this is the foundation. As already Lakshmi mentioned, this is something which is very casual and not a uh, aligned with the curriculum. Right? Next week we are going to start the curriculum, but this is a ice breaking session. Let's have a normal conversation. Let's type your answer in the chat box. What do you think of? I'm not asking Oxford or a Harvard definitions, but what is a business in your understanding? What is business? Okay. Okay.
Maybe
It
what we
is an
can do, my
exchange.
yeah, sure.
It
Go ahead.
is an exchange of service or product, sir.
Great. Good. Yes, sir. Any other anybody try that? Do you agree with him? Is it he's saying that is an exchange of goods or services, right? So I'll put it in a simple terms, exchange of goods or services. Maybe works also sometimes because I come from an a product background like an ERP majority of time. Works is also kind of a thing. Maybe they include it or not, but exchange of goods or services. So do you agree with me, or do you have any other definitions or an understanding of about a business? Right. So assume that you agree with me, and yes, definitely that is what something in a Wikipedia. Yeah, any activities, products or services of a commercial importance which comes with a value proposition. That's true. So what is a value? What is a value? What is a value? Value means some benefit, right? So let's say now this is a firm like agile trainings. Like, is it a services firm or a like manufacturing firm? Yeah. Is it this business, like whatever the Lakshmi owned business, right? Is it a services or a product, or a manufacturing? Yeah, services. It's not a manufacturing, right? How it is a sense, right? So simply we know we are living in a world, like actually we know how businesses operates, but this is, yes, every business always exchange goods or services for value, right? So for a value, what is that value? Let's say I'll give you one example that we are creating a value to you. Yes or no? Are we creating a value or not? Lakshmi and me and this company is, creating a value to you or not? Yes. So if really you feel that you're getting a value, means how as a firm we are getting the value in terms of some cash, right? So some instrument, like in terms of dollar or in terms of rupee, that is what the value again, right? The value is maybe intangible knowledge which we are sharing with you in terms of training, and therefore you are paying back the value in terms of some other currency or something of value, but both are values, right? Isn't it? Earlier, back in the days where actually butter system is there, butter or something system where they exchange the goods without a value, because that is based on the need, right? Today we have everything as a value, right? So this training is this much value. We are going to deliver this to you, okay? And you need to pay me this much, right? That is a value which I'm capturing back, isn't it? The benefit you are getting it, and I'm getting the economic benefit, right? Isn't it? So this is what an exchange of service in terms of training. But if I'm selling soap, soap is a product, right? We are exchanging. You need a soap to cleanse your, the body. Therefore, you're paying me some amount for the cost and profit, right? Isn't it? So this is what value always, if you look at the Amazon or Tesla or any small firm, they always do exchange of value, right? uh, that exchange may be in the different regions, different industries and sectors. The value will be in a different forms, but end of the day there is a value, always they exchange. So my point here is, when you are a business analyst, you always start from here. What is the industry or the sector, the business that exists? Do you agree this point? Because you're a business analyst, right? When you are trying to analyze any entity, you must know what company it is. It's a product based company or a manufacturing company or services based company. Okay, let's say in India, TCS is a services or a product based company in IT, in IT sector. Can anyone answer this? TCS services, Cognizant services, SAP, SAP, Salesforce, Workday, these are product companies. Yeah, you're on sync with me, right? So yes, if you have a clarity, even tomorrow also when you are applying for a job, you should be able to do this, analysis, because you're a business analyst, right? Which company you wanted to get into job, right? So are you going for a product based company or a services based company or a staffing company? You should know, because you're an analyst, you should have something in analysis, right? Got you. So you're, yes, good. So there are manufacturing companies will be there, services company will be there, right? But they are in a different sectors or industries, we can say. uh, Banking sector, right? Insurance, healthcare, whatever, these are all sectors. Hope you agree with me, right? So that's where, what does a business means? Business exists for creating a value and exchanging a value, capturing and creating a value and capturing the value, right? So how do they create the value? That is important. Let's first, always you need to understand, if you look at this diagram, right? So I put it here, a line here. This is above the line, below the line. Tomorrow, when you were given any initiative or assignment, let's say, you always start from top. Hey, this is the business which I'm analyzing under which sector or industry. First, you should know that. Why? Because there is regulations, compliances, lot of things will be different, right? In, let's say, banking in India, it's different, okay, regulations, and US maybe there is a different regulations, and something in a UK there is a different regulations, right? So therefore, first we need to understand these things. Why? This is a question. Why DP? I need to understand all these things on the top level, because end of the day I need to write the requirements, right? So I should be able to use the Jira and where I need to write the requirements. Yes, in order to write the requirements, we should be able to aware these are also requirements. We should be able to satisfy these, regulatory requirements or compliance requirements, right? Or very specific to the business requirements, or very specific to the user or the stakeholders. That's why we need to understand how it operates in that particular sector or a industry or a segment. Okay, so does it make sense to you? What is a business? Business is an entity, okay, which exchanges, okay, value by creating a value and capturing a value, right? So let's come to the point. Yes, end of the day, whether it is an Amazon or small company or a mid-sized company, tell me, what is the purpose of existing a commercial business organization? You can type there why it exists. Why? Yes, end of the day, create value and capture value, right? So if, while creating the value and capturing a value, if there is a profit, right? What is the profit? Revenue minus cost or expense, right? Agree? Something, let's say the cost of conducting the class. The We are capturing some fees, right? But it is both are equal. There is no point. No gain, no loss, right? There is no point. But every business, their main objective is that market leader, therefore to increase revenue, market share. That's a 51%, 55%. They want to control the market. Therefore, the revenue is going to get. Therefore, less the cost, they can make the profit. You agree with me, right? Anybody should agree, because if anybody wants to do the business on the planet Earth, they want to make the profit. Maybe now, or maybe 3 years, or a 5 years, or a 7 years, or 12 years cycles. They want to make a profit, whether it's an Amazon or Tesla, or it's a training institute, whatever that, isn't it? So if there is no profit, there is no point to doing the business, right? Agree? Yes. So yes, we should be able to reach much market. When you say a large population, yes, definitely, it's a large population, but they need to pay more revenue, right? We should be able to generate more revenues, and maybe less expenses. Therefore, we can make more profitable, right? Isn't it? So, okay. Yeah, okay, to benefit the large population and earn revenue from that. Yeah, correct. Revenue is not a profit, right? But there is a cost, always expenses and cost and everything, capitals and all these things, right? And in day-to-day operations. So less, after taxes and all, they make a profit. Okay, how do they do that? Let's say I'll talk about some Amazon. So on a daily basis, we are giving something an order in the Amazon e-commerce portal. Yes, um, maybe you use a different portal. I'm not sure, but at least once you made a one order in Amazon or some other e-commerce portal, right? Let's take Amazon. Whatever the product you are ordering, did you know the name of the person who is dispatching at your doorstep? That is the first question. So if you ask in a village, tell a name that Jeff Bezos. Do you know a Jeff Bezos in a village level or a town level? They don't know who is a Jeff Bezos or no, some all these guys, isn't it? But he also making an order on the Amazon.com, isn't it? So I don't know who is delivering his name. I don't know, but I'm getting the product within 24 hours or 40 hours, whatever the SLA they are specified in the it retail, I know that portal, right? But I don't know the name of the guy. That I don't know the driver of the logistics. I don't know what is the operation guy who is operating. Some people doesn't know even the owner of that, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, right? Hello. But how this is working, sir? How this is working? This is the first question. Because of the systems and the proper operations, right? Effective and efficient operations. Okay, I want to tell you one thing. Please take a note of it. Like, maybe however you're taking the notes, note taking. This is what something I recommend all the time in my coaching sessions, or, note taking. Note taking means, please, always you're a BA. Today we are living in a digital world, though we need to carry out some pen and paper, right? Because that feel is different, like, that gives the seriousness, like, to the other persons, right? Hey, this is what the synthesize that I made, like, you talk about these points, right? These points are connected here, these points are connected here. You need to able to do this synthesize. Okay, analysis and synthesize all together, it should work. Because make a note of that, the terms which we I'm using during these sessions. Okay, because the interview questions always framed on these. Okay, whether we conduct a mock interviews or real interviews, because if you speak professional jargons or terms, they immediately come to a conclusion that yes, this guy knows it, this guy knows the stuff, right? But if you're talking casually the words without a proper key terms or jargons, industry jargons, then we are going to miss the opportunity. Please make a note whatever I was talking. Okay, these things, industry, segment, or sector, domain, right? These things will help you to utter this, that brings up professionalism in your interviews. That's what we check in the very first place in our interview sessions. Okay. Okay, any questions so far? You can unmute. Maybe this is a this is not just one side, right? Maybe this is, you can unmute and ask questions if any, otherwise I'll continue. I'll
From my
say
side,
something.
it is from my side, it is crystal clear, Prasad, so far, and I'm listening to you first time. From my side, it's crystal clear.
Okay, right. Then I assume that everybody is on the same page, right? Uh, because why, DP, you're talking about all these, does it really require? Yes, this is fundamental. Because without a fundamental foundational knowledge, yes, how do you conduct a analysis on a business? Okay, these are the basic questions, right? Let's come to the, yes, we know why organization exists. Simple. That's, everybody wants to make a profitable organization. Even it is a Tata also in India, they want to make an, I'm not talking about non-profit organizations, I'm talking about business oriented profit organizations. Okay, they are all taxpayers, right? Okay, let's come to any industry or a segment. There is one villain will be there, right? So when I say, maybe it's a negative term, like, villain, but that's what we call it as competitor, right? Competitor. No ecosystem, no business level field, okay, exists without a competitor. Let's say you have a Tesla, but who is a competitor? BYD. Bring your own dream or something, right? Chinese electrical car. Now everybody was talking. It's the best electrical cars, right? Yes, they are competitors. Like, and the global economics, like, how much the market share in electrical cars, like it's a Tesla or BYD or other cars, right? This is always a competition exist. But how do your company, like, whatever not your company or my company, how an entity or a business organization makes profitable, remains profitable? That's always a question. Not you and me thinks. At least CEO, the CEO is the ship, right? So he is the captain of the ship. You always think, how to make this, company market leader and, more profitable organization, and growth, right? 10x, 20x, or 50x, right? Always he thinks that. That is what his dream is all about. But there is an advantage, like, competitor is there always. He's not going to sleep this particular business unit. But that is where the companies always try to do these things like, operations, effective and efficient operations. Show me one company doing very effective and efficient, but not doing profitable. No, because why they are not making profits or revenues? Because of there is no systems in place, there is no processes in place, there is no workflows in place, there is no proper trained resources, the workforce is not there. That is the reason they are inefficient, they become inefficient, therefore they lose the revenue. They always get, customer, all the time, raise the complaints or tickets. Hey, service is not good and something like that. The reason is this. Okay, the maybe the product is not good and the service is not good, right? So therefore every company always try to make, from a CEO leadership, always the business leadership try to bring effectiveness and efficiency into their business, company or a firm, right? Do you agree? Do you think, if you are a CEO, sir, assume that you are a CEO. So do you think that without an efficient and effective systems, like, business systems, or like, operations, maybe functions, right, departments, if they are not performing well, then do you do you dream that market share and, all these things? No, right? That's where they always try to. That is why I put it here. What are the key success factors of any business? Is people, processes, tools, and customers. End of the day, customer. If the customer is not there, what is the point creating the value, right? You're, let's say you're a 14 or 15 customers as of now, right? If we don't create value to you, right, a quality service to you, that do you refer? No. Okay, do you refer? No. Do you give a good feedback? No, right? End of the day, if you give the good feedback, if you're satisfied customer out of 5, if you give the 4 or 4.5 rating, yes, definitely this business is going to grow, right? And you will refer other candidates also. Hey, please go to this organization. This is the good organization, good trainers, and they are going to give you the very valuable quality service. That's value, isn't it? So that's what always every company wants to make their operations, right, effective and efficiency with the help of tools. Anyway, people will be there. People must, like, their staff or an employees, and the processes and the workflows. Okay, that's very, very important. Processes and the workflows must be there, and they will be operated by people and with the help of some tools. Tools could be, maybe it's an bookkeeping or Excel digital tool, or maybe a software, right? So today we are living in a technology, science evolved societies where actually internet is one technology, right? Mobile phone is a technology, right? So these are the technologies change the entire world, how they are doing the business today, right? Reaching more people and, delivering value to the customer, trying to deliver value. That's where they wanted to stand out in the marketplace as a business leader, market share, and he wants to control the market. Let's say if it's an Amazon, right? They are the market leader in the market. So who is going to come and beat him? Maybe you and me also can do it, but we should be able to have a product, proper operations, right, effective and efficient. Maybe if I can deliver something on the same day, whatever you order, if I delivered within the same day, right, then maybe I can compete with Amazon today, right? They're planning drones to deliver the products, right? Already delivering maybe in some places in US, right? So that is what they are leveraging on the technology and the science and the frameworks. That is where applications come into the picture. So the point is that I want to make here, the applications. Why the organizations, business organizations need tools or applications. What is an application? Application is a set of services, okay, built with some technology. Please write it down if you need it. Okay. Uh, Application is a capability or a conditions or capabilities or some service. Okay, are features with which whatever the value proposition you have, value that you are creating, that should be delivered to your customers in an effective and efficient way. Therefore, the customer is going to refer you or he will be returned back to you, right? Isn't it? He will be sustained with you. That's what every company always they want to sustain the customers and buy twice, thrice. Okay, customer lifetime value, CLV. Customer lifetime value means until he die, he should be able to buy from us. Okay, this is what I learned from business analytics from Wharton recently. Not recent, maybe just 2 years back. I did my business analytics from Wharton, University of Penn. This is what they taught, like CLV, customer lifetime value. Okay, so till he dies, he should be able to buy with us. How do you retain him? By through proper, effective, and efficient deliver value. That's what value chain, right? You should be able to deliver value with the quality. Then is stick to us. Okay, is loyal to us. Therefore, we can make revenues. We can make profits, right? That is where the applications or software tools, because the technology today, everybody is using a mobile phones, everybody is using a laptops, everybody is using a internet. Starlink is changing again. Starlink is, if the Starlink is available, it is even remote places like paddy fields, whatever the agricultural, there they can make use of this internet, and they can grow their crops. Okay, they can use drones, they can use much 5G internets and make use of technology and application and the tools, right? So that is where you are as an analyst, business technical business analyst. You supposed to understand what is the sector they are into. Is it a manufacturing product development company or a services company, or they do a project or manufacturing, right? And what is the functions they have, what is the operations they have. Operations, that's very very important. Okay, operations, when you're studying an operation, what are the systems they have? Systems means collection of processes. Okay, what are the processes they have? Sales process, marketing process, okay, payroll process, okay, hiring process, okay, inventory management. So what are the process they have? Inventory management, let's say services companies doesn't have most of the time. Okay, manufacturing companies may have, right? That is why, so every firm will have a different functions based on where they exist, in which sector they exist. Accordingly, they have their functions. Let's say every organization will have these functions: marketing and sales, whether it's a manufacturing company or a services company or a training company or whatever staffing company. They must have marketing, sales, right, and operations, must. Then accounts, finance, and if it's a software company, they also have this marketing, sales, operations, and HR. Apart from that, engineering department, right? Engineering department, where the software applications are going to be built. There you are going to be the part of it. Engineering department, like every software company where they're building software tools for the companies to maximize their value to deliver the customer with the help of the tools, right? With the help of the tools that we are creating as a software organization. We are also organizations, IT companies, right? Maybe it's a TCS, Deloitte, or whatever it is, that we are also software companies. The company type is an IT sector. We build services. Okay. So services means projects. That projects will be generated in applications or tools. With that tools, they are going to deliver value to their customers, okay, in a effective and efficient and a quality way. Therefore, they can generate more revenue and more profitable. That is the reason we build software tools, whether it is a mobile application or a web application or something else today, AI applications, right? Bots, robots we are building, right? Maybe a cybersecurity project, whatever it is, right? We are building for a non-IT companies mostly to serve their customers more effective and efficiency, right? That is where our requirement should be geared. So that is the reason we exist as a technical business analyst or architects or developers or testers. Okay, this is the team, engineering team, typically we call it as. Okay, they should be able to design and build with the help of business analysts gathered requirements, and that should be able to deploy with the DevOps, and the firms are going to make use of it, and they can streamline their operations and satisfy their customers. Therefore, it remains more profitable. Okay, this is something a conceptual understanding, because tomorrow if we give some assignment as a small project, where do you start? Always start above the line. Above the line means, hey, this firm is, which firm? That's a this is an e-commerce, right? E-commerce comes retail or what? Like, yeah, retail e-commerce. Which sector this is coming? Yeah, retail sector, right? This is a online e-commerce or brick and mortar. Brick and mortar means non-technology, like our shops or retail shops, right? uh, is it a manufacturing? Manufacturing means like they build cars or they build bikes or they build something tires or whatever it is, like manufacturing. Is it that? And what are the functions they have? What are the functions means? Marketing, sales, and that's HR, operations, and else any other departments like functions. Okay, what are the systems, right? What is their flows, processes, and who are operating that processes, and do they have any other existing tools they're using? If you study this, typically we call it as high level business analysis. First, big picture, understand the big picture. That's where we need to start business analysis. Then once the project is started, right? So the software project, because maybe we are solving a sales problem, or maybe we are solving a marketing problem, or we are solving an operations problem, maybe we are solving something inventory problem. If it is a manufacturing company, then we should be able to focus as a business analyst. We should be able to focus that specific area, that specific function, and understand the processes and the workflows. The reason why? Because we cannot focus the whole organization system, because only we focus on the area where actually the problem exists. Okay, because the company is losing money because of this inefficient customer support. Therefore, they want to build a customer support software. Okay, maybe another company, they don't have a proper delivery mechanism, logistics. We should be able to focus on the logistics workflows and processes and the people, and we need to write the requirements accordingly, and the software engineering team will build the softwares. That is why always you supposed to come from top down approach, sometimes maybe a bottom up approach. I'll tell you that reverse engineering, right? Reverse engineering, please remember that word, we can talk later. Reverse engineering. But this is forward engineering. Let's say top level, like what is a sector, what is the industry they are exist, what is the firm is all about, is the services or products, and what are the functions they have, who are the people or departments, right? And what are the workflows and the processes, and do they have any tools, right? Now what I need to ask, what I need to understand, right? So this is what so far, you know the business acumen, like any domain you get into, banking or insurance or any firm, you should be able to always look at any business like this. Above the line, what is the sector? Manufacturing or services? Then come to here. Within the business, what are the operations they have? Simple. Can you do that? Please type in. Can you do that? I'll give you one something in assignment. Or you can take any organization. We want a understanding document from your side that, hey, TP, this is what I'm studying. This organization, this business organization is manufacturing organization or service organization, right? This organization, within the organization, these are the operations. Operations means functions, let's say. Okay, core functions. What are the core functions? Marketing, sales, okay, operations, HR. These are the minimum departments. If it is a medium, large size companies, I'm not talking about the startups and all. Okay, and do they have any software tools? And what is the current? What is the problem? What is the challenge they are facing? Okay, are you there? Just, just I want to hear or see something, um, a response from you.
Yes, we are present.
Yeah, yes, it's clear. And just maybe if it's not confused, okay. If you have any questions, like please, I'm open to answer. 3 messages. Any questions? Like, I'm not getting into how to analyze, how to write a requirements as of now, right? So what is the requirement? What is an SDLC stats? Here SDLC stats, like, if the problem what we are solving, right? From here SDLC stats, like, software development life cycle, with which we are solving a problem. Therefore, there is an application or a tool is going to be an output of a project with which they can serve their customers in a better way, and they can make revenue and profits. Or it's not one time, maybe they can improve their processes and streamline, but we should be able to understand why we are getting into an IT industry or software company, okay, as a technical business analyst, okay, and how the requirements looks like and how the outcome looks like, how the mock-ups are, how they look like, and are we solving the right problem, and are we asking the right questions, okay, and the right people. That's important. That's why I put it here: people, processes, and the tools, right? And I should be within the problem domain, not getting into out of it. Like, people, I see that majority of people in the business analysis, they lose their, navigation, because they should be stick to the problem area, right? But sometimes they jump out of the scope and try to get it. That's where actually project bleeds most of the time. So therefore, the product owner, we should be able to highlight them, the client or a customer, hey, this is what out of scope, right? If this is the case, we wanted to do the requirements analysis was gathering, project manager or scrum master, they should be able to take care of that. The timelines, scope, budget, timelines, and quality. That is the 4 dimensions. The project manager or a scrum master takes care of that. That is not business analyst role, right? So we are always focus on what is the problem and what is my focus area, narrow down and understand processes, workflows, and how to gather requirements from that, impacted processes, and write the requirements to build the tools. Okay, we are not going to build the tool. So please, this is what maybe you're expecting, that we are not technical people, we are functional people, right? Understand the functions, operations within that functions, right? And how to write the features, how to identify the features, epics features, or user stories, or use cases, whatever it, interchangeably used words, in agile world and waterfall world, and we should be able to manage requirements. That's a life cycle management, requirements life cycle, where we should be able to give the walkthrough to the developers as well as testers. Okay, and they will come up with their questions, technical feasibilities and viabilities based on the design and architecture and all. And we should be able to go back to the customer, hey, this is what something, is it important, it's not important because it's not technically feasible or viable or something. This is what a technical business analyst is supposed to be, a bridge or a liaison. Maybe we don't want to use this words liaison or a bridge because according to the BABOK, BABOK, maybe you can write this word BABOK. BABOK is the body which regulates the business analysis practice. Okay, which is in Toronto. Okay, which is a regulatory body which gives the certifications and all, but it's not job oriented. Okay, just the certification, ideal case. Okay, we don't recommend that, but the guidelines will be provided through BABOK. That's a content actually, how to conduct a business analysis. That is a standard which I follow because I'm a certified business analyst and certified product owner and certified scrum master. I have these three certifications, and safe also. I'm a safe practitioner. What is a safe? Safe is a big organizations like enterprise organizations. They run the uh, projects. Let's we have a 150 people team, and the 12 teams are there, 150 people across the globe, like from Argentina to multiple locations like Russia, like um, these places, co-located teams we are working. That's what safe is, a kind of a lean plus agile. Lean plus agile. Again, I'm a safe certified and lean certified also, white belt. Okay. Uh, this is pertaining to business analysis I'm talking about. Rest of the certifications and executive education in terms of AI and ML and all technical, because I'm a techno functional. Okay, that's what I wanted to set this expectation to you. You can ask these questions like tech side anything, functional side anything. Techno functional. I'm a techno functional. Okay. Recently, I did my executive education from Cambridge in terms of problem solving, system design, and thinking, design thinking, system designs and problem solving. That is very niche course that recently I completed from Cambridge. Okay, so therefore you can leverage on us if you want to clarify and learn. You know this cutting edge, like recently the lot of technology change in terms of cybersecurity, in terms of AI, a lot of projects we are working on it, AI projects, therefore automation projects, therefore it it will help you. But only thing is that how you can elicit me. What do you mean by elicit? Elicit, you should be able to churn me to get more, as much as possible from our side. Okay, because till today, that's that's what I'm also a student like you. Okay, every year I used to spend some certifications like executive educations. Okay, um close to 2.5 to 3 k dollars for executive educations and all. So therefore this is the opportunity maybe for you, that like you can ask any techno functional, like how the first preference is functional, because that's what our goal and objective is, that right, functional side. How effective and efficient I can carry out this business analysis, how effective and efficient I can write the user stories and mockups, right? How effective and I can facilitate the meeting with the a product owner or a customer, and how semi-technical, like in terms of databases, in terms of APIs, right? So in terms of some tools, how would I can understand. This is what the scope, as far as my, quick understanding from Lakshmi for the last 2 days. Yep. Um, this is, as Lakshmi mentioned, this is a, ice breaking session maybe. I appreciate if you could, speak out and, ask some questions like, anything which is so far covered, like, for the 3 sessions or 4 sessions already covered, right? So the curriculum will remain the same, and we will align with the same. The topics are going to be picked up for the next coming sessions, and we can dedicate the 3 hours or 6 hours and dedicate to that scope. But today's session is all about this, how I speak and how I present, how I can communicate, and how I can explain the concepts and theory, right? And maybe assignment. Today, I'm going to give you one assignment. Assignment means don't think that, okay, this is hard and fast rule that I should be able to complete, then only I'll come to the class, right? Or a session. Not required, because I know that, we are already maybe working or not working or something. Maybe we have other activities, okay, apart from our day-to-day job activities, okay. But try to try to complete the a task or an assignments that we are going to give you, okay. That helps both of us, like, it's a win-win. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
I want to ask you something. So, first thing is, I think this information is really important for us, and yes, it shows the functional side of the business analyst and understanding the market and business. Now it feels very overwhelming, but if we repeat it on a, I mean, on a recorded session, I think this information would be very much useful in trying to understand when, especially when you're applying for senior positions with some experience. And thank you so much for including this part of the business analyst as well. And one more question I have is whether the syllabus or the topics that have been covered so far, are you going to like do it again, or are you going to continue where Kavita has left off?
Yeah, it is to me or Lakshmi, the question.
No, but I think he's asking, maybe he just want an answer. No problem at all, JP. I can answer.
Yes,
Who joined this one? I am just seeing the name as Zoom user. That's all. Your name is not displaying.
this is Abdul, sir.
Oh, Abdul. Hi, Abdul.
Hi, hi,
Right,
hi.
right. Look, whatever the classes Kavita has covered, I think 3 or 4
Mhm.
classes she covered, that won't be
Yes.
repeated because we already have the subject covered. We want to
Okay.
get most value of the like the future classes from TP. So we already understood.
Okay.
Like in our culture, there is a
Hmm.
saying, to
Yes.
understand if the rice is really cooked or not, all we have to do is just pick up a grain and then see that. That speaks a lot
Hmm.
whether the rice is cooked. The session of this one is this one. So is a really a matured tutor trainer, are we really able to understand the communication, our comfort level of processing his information? That's the main goal, Abdul. And as I said,
Like a ice
yeah,
breaking session. Yes, I
exactly.
understood.
That's what he
Yes.
said. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And from
Okay.
next week, wherever Kavita has left, we are going to pick up from that point, and he's going to deep dive into the topics with his expertise. We have seen his expertise, with his expertise into the topics, and we will go from there.
Okay, so we have taken a few hours of break before we continue to Kavita's where she left off. But before that, we will try to get more prerequisite knowledge before we proceed for the future
Yeah,
course.
if you can just cover up the classes of
Hmm.
Kavita, like those 3 classes,
Okay.
that should be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
But
All right.
if we want to give a fresh touch to that one, fresh touch to that one,
Mm-hmm.
maybe at a high
Mm-hmm.
level, kind of it, like like today, maybe just at a high level, maybe I can
Okay.
personally request DP to go through this topic as a refresher, and we can
Mm-hmm.
understand. He's using that elicit, right? How well we use him, so accordingly he's going to respond. So he's a bundle of
I,
energy. That's what yeah, bundle of
I
knowledge.
think
Not, yeah.
I
So
think
maybe
if he
we will,
can, yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry to
summarize.
interrupt you, sir. Yeah, I think if he summarizes in his own words, adding
Yeah.
little bit of his touch, I think it would be
Yes.
like a good experience for us too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you could do that for us, DP, thank you.
Right. So if you want to look from my window, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
From your
sure.
perspective, how would you look at it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But definitely that's, that remains same, like,
Mm-hmm.
the view and the perspective. I see it's two different things, right? So perspective, the way we perceive that, right? So views are
Mhm.
maybe multiple. Okay, no problem. Yeah, that's what they shared already, and I'll go through it, and I'll sync the same
Yes.
okay page, and whatever the topic the terms that they've used, try
Mhm.
to bring it. And anyway, there's only 3 sessions, right? So nothing to
Yes.
worry. And
Yes.
end of the day, the goal is that maybe you should be able to be a more, you should claim that confidently you can say that I'm a business analyst. Hey, you can
True.
conduct an
True.
interview at any given point of time. Hey, I'm confident.
Exactly.
Hey, so I can answer, like,
Exactly.
at least maybe this is gap analysis. Let's say there is a job
Mm.
description and how confident you are,
Yes.
right? Let's say
True.
in the
Yes.
marketplace, the job descriptions are also vary, right? So no job
Yes.
description is the same for a BA role or a product owner, right? So it's a mix of,
Absolutely.
multiple
Mm.
hats, because I
Mhm.
know that, I do interviews on a daily basis, right? So for techno-functional most,
Yes.
then so what we see in them is, more confidence, like, how does he, handle the customer or not, right? So the PO, right?
Right.
Yeah. That is important. The soft skills also speaks very loud, right? The soft skills,
True.
it's not about
True.
just like, the domain, how to do it, and the process and tools and everything. But if you don't show that energy and
Mhm.
the confidence level upon his face, right? So whoever is taking the interview, then there is no point. That's why you should be able to, prepare that. That's what the reason I ask, surprising questions like, what happened on the very first day we met, we talk about this, right? So I
Yes.
expect some jargons, right? Terms, industry terms, isn't it? Majority
True.
of the time,
Yes.
like, in entries, what we observed, uh,
Mhm.
when we ask a question, hey, who writes the NFR requirements? Then they struggle to answer, like, they try to always answer. That's the first question. No, no, no. Then you never try to answer because you're not, to give the answer, right? So try to understand first. Listen, 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 listen. That's what, what is the first tool the business analyst required is a ears, not mouth. Understand? The first
Okay.
tool, it's whether you are recording or note taking or writing any notes or transcripts or whatever it is, but ears is a very very key tools, keen listener. Oh, and we should be able to frame questions. That is the skill that is required. Framing a question, okay, is the key. Okay, frame the question. Hey, you're saying this, right? I see that there is a conflict or an ambiguity. That can you repeat that, like, how it works? What is that step? What if that step is not completed successful in the process, and how where it goes in the flow, right? Then
Yes.
that is where we can elicit the requirements. Elicitation is all about draw forth. Draw forth means obtaining information, right? Obtaining information. From the obtained information only, we can translate that information into proper statements. That's what we call it as requirements, right? That is a small
Yes.
or big, we can classify that. What are the types of requirements and all. We can classify how to do it. That's what the course is all about, right? Uh, Definitely you can leverage that, but we will minimize this confusion. Maybe this happen, right? To
Mm.
minimize that, that's what we quickly took the action and try to continue without hindering your time, right?
True.
Okay.
One question, one of the difficulties that I have faced is whenever I speak to an interviewer or trying to answer, even though I know what I'm talking about, most of the time difficulty I've faced is like you're talking about the jargons or
Yes.
the
Terms.
terms
Yeah.
and glossary of
Yes.
a
Key
business
terms.
analyst.
Yeah.
Yeah, key terms and glossary of a business. I sound like a layman because for me I'm trying to understand it from my in terms of my own language, but when I try to convey it to the interviewer or something, I sound like very not very technical or very sound with my subject. So I was thinking if this
Yeah.
would help us out.
Yeah, yeah, it is not, maybe I don't know which level of experience you come from, because we have 13 to 14 team, right? So
Yeah.
people come from different backgrounds and different levels of experiences, right? So maybe early, or maybe a fresher or mid level or a senior level, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, maybe you can, position yourself like a senior BA or moderate BA or entry level BA, let's say. Okay, these
Mhm.
jargons will be played, based on the level. Let's say if this strategy analysis, let's say if you are a entry level or mid level, you can, touch base that, but you don't get into the details of it. Hope you understand. That's what, when we should be able to enter and when we should be able to exit, that balance we need to strike, right? That is
Okay.
where we are going to train you that, like, let's say, sir, I did my business analysis certification, which is a 600-page book, babok, like, 3.0
Yes.
version, right? Which is a very toughest education, one of the toughest certification also,
Certifications. Yes.
right? That is, 3.5 hours, 120 questions, actually scenario based, all scenario based. You should be able to solve all of them. Hey, and
Yes.
there is 50 techniques and 35, this topics, and
PDS.
six knowledge areas will be there. Knowledge area,
Yes.
six knowledge areas, in order
Yes.
to remember all of them and try to do this in the real practice. No, sir, I'm not doing it. I did that, but where I'm applying that? No, around me, I'm very educated. Maybe I learned everything, but around me is also important, right? My colleagues, my other team members also should be able to align with me, right? Maybe
Yeah.
I'm, over smart. Maybe others also should match my frequency, right? Sometimes, but sometimes I don't behave like that. I don't use the terms and jargons. They can't understand.
Okay.
They will be, if I say that something, a financial analysis, ROI. So some people can't understand what is an why they should be able to look into Norway. But senior business analysts having 15 years, more experience, they need that strategic level. Understand? But at
Mhm.
an operational level, it's majority the game is within the writing the requirements, user story, and this what do you call mock-ups, right? And how we are using the Confluence or Jira or ADO boards. This is what the game
Okay.
is all about. What is the life cycle of a story, user story? What is the life cycle
Okay.
of this, ticket? Who approves it? Who sign off this? Who approve? Who's supposed to be give the walkthrough? When the planning should start, right? What is your role?
Okay.
This is the game all the time once you get on. Okay, but
Okay.
before you are appearing for an interview, at least you should have some these technical words, let's say. Okay,
Okay.
that's what the confidence levels we see at a conceptual and a theoretical level, but rest other is scenarios and some practical things. Okay,
Okay.
you don't have to worry about
Thank.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone, any questions? Dear students, any feedback that you want to give? I just requested your feedback on the WhatsApp group. So please feel free to share your feedback, and that will help me to take the decision. And whatever the feedback that you are giving, we are okay. But I want to personally thank Mr. Prasad. He is working in a big company, and he is on the in one of the top positions actually. And based on the simple request, he understood our current situation, and he said that, Lakshmi, look, I'm going to step in to rescue the team from things. We can refund the money, but that's not the solution. That's not the solution. As uh, DP rightly said, it's more about how well we are keeping this process and engage all of you, so that we create the best value for you guys. Okay.